Hello.
Hello, Mr. Organister.
Yeah, that's me.
Hi, my name's Emily Baxter. I'm a prosecutor at East Crown Court. I'm dealing with the case today against Mr. Brown and Mr. Bujalski.
Yes.
Hi, and I'm just here with the officer in the case, Charlotte, as well, who I think you've spoken with before. Alright, I just want to have a quick chat with the case.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've seen some emails you sent over earlier regarding so you've been asked to attend for 2 to give evidence today, but you had some queries about it, and I've seen some medical evidence you sent over regarding health conditions that might make it difficult for you to attend court.
Yes. Yes.
Just in terms of attendance at court, can I just start with that? So, I can ask the court to provide a live link so you can give evidence over a video, but that would be up to a judge to grant it. Do you have a laptop at home with the webcam and everything?
No, I have a very good mobile phone that can do the job.
Okay, and do you have somewhere quiet and private where you could sit to give your evidence and not be interrupted?
It can be arranged, yeah. It can be arranged, yeah.
Okay. The court tends to prefer that people come in person if at all possible. So I just want to explore with you, it's okay with you, your medical difficulties in a little bit more detail, so we can have all the information that I might need to tell the judge, if that's all right.
Sorry, I didn't hear the last thing because there's a big truck here on my side. I am in Putney right now, and there is a big truck here behind me, and it was moving, and I couldn't hear, so you have to repeat it again. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. The court would prefer you to attend in person, so I'm going to need to be able to explain to the judge in a bit more detail about why you can't, or explore that in a bit more detail. So, do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions about your medical condition?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So I know that one of the issues is with your eyesight and your ability to safely get to court. If we could arrange a taxi for you or a police officer to give you a lift, would that mean that you'd be able to get here?
Yes, well, that would make things easier, yeah.
Okay, or if you're in a taxi, have the officer meet you outside court and get off the taxi to make sure you can get into court safely.
So I cannot get a taxi because I don't have funds for it.
Okay, we might be able to arrange one for you.
Yeah, if there is a taxi in the available to pick me up in Putney High Street, that's where I am right now. So that will be okay.
Okay, that's something we'll consider. So I have to just make some inquiries. And then obviously you also raised concern about your bowel incontinence.
Yeah, well, that's a problem.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but clearly you are able to get out and about a bit. I mean, are there steps that you take when you're out to mitigate it? Is it something where you just need frequent breaks, or
it's a bit unpredictable, you understand? It can happen anytime. When I was living in Hayden's Road, I have several pictures of my underwear which was soiled. You understand? At the time I was trying to get into the toilet, I didn't get in time and soiled my underwear, and it happened a couple of times, and that's the reason why it was granted to me that I have limited capacity for work and work-related activities by the Department of Work and Pensions. Was a doctor who assessed me and understood that I should not be working at all and receive an extra benefit, and that's the situation that lasts until today, and the current date. That's the thing. It's a little bit unpredictable. It might happen that, as you said, I can empty the bowel a little bit, and then nothing happens during the court hearing. But it might happen that I am giving my statement, and suddenly something happens, and I come out from in front of everyone with my wet pants stinking. You understand? So that will be very embarrassing if that happens, because it's quite unpredictable. I would prefer the live link to attend through video conference. You understand?
Yeah, no, I understand. I will see what the judge is willing to grant, because, like I say, the judges tend to prefer people to be here in person if possible. Do you have any kind of specialist underwear protection or something that you can use just in case you need to be here?
Not really, because once I am, how can I say, I don't need to work, and supposedly I'm going to say home all the time, because I am homeless. I became homeless last year, but I am always close to a shopping center who has several public toilets. You understand? So if something is meant to happen, I just run quickly to there and I do what I have to do. But it's different when we are in the court. If I am in the middle of the statement, I cannot say, hey jury, hey Mr. Judge, prosecutor, please wait until... Yes, I understand.
No, actually that's absolutely fine. If you're giving your evidence and just say, can I have a break? And, you know, the jury don't need to know about it. I will just raise with the judge privately in advance that you've got this medical issue. And then if you're giving evidence and you say, can we have a break? They can very quickly arrange for you to get to the toilet, if that would help.
Well, the problem is that because sometimes it happens suddenly, and that's the big problem. It's a little bit unpredictable. So, to be honest, I would prefer to be in court, despite the situation in which I will be probably face to face with the defendants, which I don't want to, because there's several posts in social media saying that they wanted to attack me again, and actually one of the defendants, I think he breached the bail conditions because he was following me in last November with his vehicle when someone else inside his car.
Okay.
So
part of it that you're scared to see them as well.
Yeah, because I don't know what they intend to do. I was a couple months away from London immediately after the assault. I was actually in the north of the country to stay away from their trouble, and they were willing to go there in order to revenge. And when I was in Birmingham a couple of weeks before returning to London, Mr. Leo Brown has family there. He wanted to go to visit his family and to we used to say in my language, to pay some debts with me. You understand?
Okay.
So.
No, I understand. Okay, well look, like I said, I'll do my best to have this live link arranged if we need it. One thing that the judge might ask me is, could this issue have been raised at an earlier stage so we could have dealt with it sooner? Was that something you thought about raising with the auditor at all, just so we could plan?
Sorry, say it again, and I didn't hear.
One thing the judge might ask me is when was this raised? And as far as I'm aware, this is something that we're only raising today. Mm-hmm. Did you mention it to the police at all or witness care earlier?
I was trying to inform PC Michael Andrews, but I didn't know he was on holiday. So the day that effectively the police took knowledge of the situation was last Friday, because that's the only day that I spoke with his supervisor. No, because PC Michael Andrews was dealing with me, gone away on holiday, and nobody replaced him. I don't know what happened.
Witness care officer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he went on holiday, which is a right he has, but nobody was replacing him, and his supervisor took over. I think it's Suzanne something, took over the case only last Friday, because I sent several emails, nobody was responding. I was calling several numbers, everybody was saying was the wrong number, until someone have the conscience to say that, okay, so he is based in Sutton police station, but his supervisor is Suzanne something, she will get in touch with you. And she did, actually, but only on Friday, last Friday. So that's when this was effectively raised. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
So, I don't know if you've been informed. Hopefully you have been informed that Mr. Bujalski has already pleaded guilty. He did that last week, so he has now admitted his role. For Mr. Brown, there are some discussions ongoing at court now about whether he might also plead guilty. And if he does that, it means we don't have to have a trial. So I don't know yet. If we will 100% need this trial and therefore need you to give evidence. If we do need you to give evidence, I will try and make these arrangements for you to give evidence by a live link.
Okay.
If the judge says no to that, then I can make these arrangements for you to come by a taxi, and we'll have regular breaks for you and so on, to try and do our best to accommodate you. Would you be willing to do that if the judge refuses our other request?
Well, I can try. I'll be right now. I'm heading to Putney Exchange. That is the shopping center there. They have public toilets, and I think there's enough connection to receive the phone call, if that's the call. So if a taxi or an officer is sent to me to pick me up, should be within the entry they have. I think they have 2 entries. Then we can decide which one of the doors of the gates he can wait for me, because one is very busy and the other one is not so busy.
Okay. Well, if in that case, if I can ask you, just keep an eye on your phone, and we'll give you an update as soon as we can.
Yeah, it is in my hand. The phone is in my hand. That's why I was.
Yeah, I'll obviously it is right now. I mean, just I'm going to hang up now. I'm going to make some inquiries. We'll find out if we need you. And then what arrangements are going to be made, and then we'll call you back and let you know. All right?
Okay. So basically, as I understand, because Sebastian Bujalski pleaded guilty last week, and Leo Brown didn't plead guilty, so there is yet a discussion if it needs to go further for a judgment for a court or not, isn't it?
Yes. We need to know if Mr. Brown is going to admit assaulting you.
Yeah, but the issue is not only assaulting me. That's because I mentioned in my latest witness statements, he asked Sebastian Bujalski to do it and gave him in his restaurant free food for life. So basically, he ordered the crime. That's why, if he assaulted me or not, he actually kicked me in the head while I was on the floor after I fell off. But the discussion in this case should be that how much he is guilty of ordering the crime. I am not sure if you were aware of that, but my latest victim statements mention that.
The problem would be is that we have to be able to prove so that the jury are sure anything that we're relying on. And you would only be able to give evidence about things that you saw and heard for yourself. So if you have become aware of these discussions or orders through some other person or online or something like that, unfortunately we can't use that evidence. It's not allowed in court.
But
so
I have videos of him following me in Collier's Wood in a moment that there was posts on social media that he hired someone else to assault me again, and so basically breached or attempted to breach the bail conditions, because as far as I know he's still under the bail conditions to not contact me directly or indirectly.
Let me discuss that with the officer. I know you sent over some new videos and things today. Is that information within that new statement and new video?
Yeah, is the link. If necessary, I have the video with me. I can send to you because the video is small. And is mentioned definitely in the last witness statements. I'm not sure in the previous ones, but the last witness statement submitted 2 hours ago, the final witness statement, is there, including the links. But if it's necessary, the raw video, I still have it.
Okay. Well, let me have a discussion with the officer about the evidence that we have. But just so you are aware, that at this point, we're only anticipating the trial to be about what they physically did to you on that night. And other issues, if you've committed other crimes on other occasions, it's likely that would have to be part of a separate trial. But let me review this new evidence to see if there's anything there that the court is going to let us use.
Okay,
Okay.
fine.
All right.
Right. So
Okay. Thank you very
right
much.
now I'll be heading to Putney Exchange. If any officer needs to pick me up for today, we'll be there. But I need to know in advance to go to the entry
Okay.
to wait for him.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Organister.
Yes.
It's Emily Banks again, prosecutor. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine. I was having lunch.
Okay. Are you free to talk briefly?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Well, I have news. I hope it's good news. I don't know necessarily how you will feel about it. So Mr. Brown has offered a plea, and it has been accepted. The plea that he has offered is to assault. He's not admitting to being the one who caused you injury.
That's true. But he is the one who ordered.
Yes. No, so I understand that, and I understand why you have those suspicions, particularly
Because I know what they spoke, and coincidence or not, Mrs. Sebastian Bujalski posted he wrote a post in Google Maps related to the food in his restaurant. It was a few days after the assault, giving a good review about the food, saying that it was delicious, very delicious. Obviously, when it's free, it's very delicious, always delicious.
Sure.
So it sounds like a coincidence, but it's not a coincidence because yeah.
I completely understand why you have that suspicion, and I'm not saying that you are wrong about what happened, but as a prosecutor, I have to think not just about, well, what do I think happened, but about what can I get the evidence to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And so unfortunately, I just don't think that we have enough evidence. And I've looked at what you sent the officer, but I just don't think that there is enough evidence for us to make a jury sure that Brown ordered the assault. I'm not saying he didn't. He may well have done, but it's just in terms of, I just think about the quality of the evidence and what the judge will allow in the trial.
Understand.
Okay. I'm glad. So for that reason, yes, we've decided that we should accept Mr. Brown's plea to he assaulted you, but he's saying it's Bujalski was the one who actually caused you your injuries. So what will happen is they will be sentenced on maybe August. Remind myself, 16th of August. The 11th of August. We'll be sentenced on the 11th of August. The judge will hear about what happened, will hear about your injuries, and the judge will make a decision about what that sentence should be, all right?
Okay. I also read in social media that Sebastian Bujalski is wondering to move to North London in order to avoid the prison sentence, because despite the fact that he pleaded guilty, is obviously that he won't avoid the sentence. He might be sentenced at only one third of the total sentence. So what can be done to because
So at the moment he has bail conditions about where he has to live. If he were to disappear from that address, realistically, I think he would be found quite quickly because he has connections to that area. He runs a business. Anyone who's receiving any money as an employee, they then have tax records. So unless he's going to go completely undercover and on the run forever, it would be very silly of him to try and disappear. And we would have to locate him.
Sorry, we're talking about Sebastian Bujalski or the other defendant?
Well, both of them, but including Mr. Bujalski.
Yeah, I'm talking about Bujalski because Bujalski already attempted to run away. He actually flew to Poland, but he wasn't successful because the style of life he had in Poland is not satisfactory. It's a lot of things, a lot of details I know that I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to share with you because we don't have time for it. And he decided to come back. But by November or December last year,
he took a flight to Poland, and his intentions were not to come back, but he had to come back because he cannot adapt himself to Poland anymore. So it's not the first time that he might try to do that. Probably this time he will do a different way. Instead of going to Poland, go to another area of London where he's not known, and you might remain wanted by the police. Hello?
Hello, hi. No, I'm just thinking, look, sometimes people don't show up for their court date, but usually they are located fairly quickly because, like, if you were to leave the country, he's, like you said, he's not got that life back in Poland that he would like. He wants to stay in this country, and if he was here and he was working, or he takes out a bank account, or trying to rent somewhere, people can come to the attention of the authorities relatively quickly. So unless it's going to go completely off grid, it would be virtually impossible for him to disappear forever. Okay, so if he tried to not show up to court, we would find him.
Yeah, well, I have a similar situation in 2022, in which a guy was assaulted me. He was living in the same house. He was arrested. He moved to another area in Streatham, and his bail conditions were included that he has to give the address each time he was moving. The fact is, he didn't show up to court for the trial, and he didn't tell the police the new address, and he remained wanted by the police. I called the CPS to confirm the situation for a long time. His name is Pavel Wisniewski. You can check the records. I am the victim of that case as well. And that's the thing. So that's the second time it might happen that the person might disappear, go to another area of London, and is not captured anymore. And of course, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me discuss with the officer what we can do to try and make sure that we're keeping an eye on him.
Mm-hmm.
But let's cross. If he does try and disappear, I don't believe that this defendant will, because I've been doing this a long time and I get a sense for which ones do and don't. But if he does, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay. But I'll have a discussion with the officer about what we can do. All right.
Okay. Can I receive once the situation is like this, and that means that I don't have to show up to court? Not necessarily anymore, isn't it?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
So can I receive a written information about this just to keep on my record? Like by email or something?
Yeah, we can send you a letter with the outcome.
Okay, yeah. When I'm going to receive the letter?
Well, it wouldn't, so the sentence is the 11th of August, so it would make more sense to write to you after that. But if you want a letter in the meantime, just about the fact they pleaded guilty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. The whole information since the moment they pleaded guilty, since the fact that they pleaded guilty, and when will be the date of the judgment, etc., everything.
Okay, yeah. Let me ask them to send something to you, just so you've got it in writing. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. All right. Now, one thing at sentence that we could discuss with the judge, and again, it's the judge's decision whether to order it or not, but would be some kind of restraining order against them to not contact you. Is that something that you would want?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, fine. Well, look, I will. I'll make that application. It may well be ordered, but there is a possibility that they might say, if you're now living in a new area and they don't know where you are, then it's not necessary.
But I go to that area for the church because the church I attend is there in Hayden's Road, 50 meters from the place of the location of the assault. And where
do they know you go to that church?
Sorry?
Do they know that you go to that church?
Yeah, I go twice a week. It's exactly on the corner of the road, but it's about 50-60 meters from the place where they live and where it happened.
If the restraining order said not to contact you and that neither of them can go to that church, that's not going to give away your location to them, because they already know that you sometimes go to that church. Yeah. I don't want to tell them where they can find you if they don't already know. You see what I mean?
Yeah. So
they already know that about the church.
They know. Yeah, they know.
Okay. And what's the name of the church?
The Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Kingdom Hall Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in Hayden's Road. I don't remember the number right now, but it's in the corner with Gap Road. And
Yeah,
Lovely.
I can find out the full address.
Yeah.
On Hayden's Road. Okay, well, we'll make that application, and hopefully the judge will approve that. Fine. So hopefully what I've explained to you so far will make sense. Do you have anything else that you wanted to ask me about in relation to what's happened today?
No, I don't. That's fine. Everything is okay. As soon as you send me a letter or an email with the whole information that I need to keep as a record for me, that's fine.
Okay, will do. Thank you so much.
So when are we gonna receive the letter?
It will probably take about a week or so.
Okay. All right. No problem.
Sorry, hang on. Do we have your up-to-date address to send that letter to? Or the office has a correspondence address for you, is that right?
Yes. Which address you have about me?
It doesn't to it. Sorry, our systems are a little bit slow. Just bear with us a second.
Not better to send by email?
Would you prefer it by email?
Yeah, because sometimes the system is not updated. And for example, last week I was arrested for not attending to court in another case, and, and the CPS sent a letter to the wrong address, so I shouldn't be actually arrested.
Oh, I see. Okay. Can you just confirm your email then?
It's my first and last name with a dot in the middle, Amadeu.Ortinista.
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, no,
Hotmail.
That at Hotmail. Yeah.
Hotmail.com.
30295 Mortimer Street is the address, is that right?
That's my address. That's the correct address.
Yeah.
That's the correct.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much for speaking with me. And I think it's good that you don't have to come to court and go through that process of giving evidence. I know it's not necessarily conviction for everything that you would have liked, but I think that's the best outcome we're going to get in this particular case. All right.
Okay.
And we'll put that in writing for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye bye.